Welcome to the episode 13 of American Podcast Federation. From Studio 1615, I am Ted the Ranger Irvin, and making his way down to the ring right now, our new prestigious champion, Matt Boyd, who beat Kevin Journey in our last episode. Starting off this episode, he will be facing Taylor Reigns. Matt Boyd, his first championship, the prestigious championship from American Podcast Federation. And now making his way down the ring, Taylor Reigns, trying to make a damper out of Matt Boyd's celebration. A four-time champion himself, one-time World India champion, wrestled in India, trained in Green Bay alongside Matt Boyd, who trained in Minnesota. This crowd is enjoying Taylor Reigns coming down to the ring. I'm not sure why American Podcast Federation has made this match, but I am excited nonetheless. And we get going as they tie up Matt Boyd and Taylor Reigns. Taylor Reigns suplexed to Matt Boyd, our new prestigious champion, tossing Matt Boyd. Another tie-up between these two. Matt Boyd powering Taylor Reigns into the ropes. The ref breaking it up. Hip toss to Taylor Reigns. Elbow drop. Taylor Reigns to the mat. Knee to the throat of Taylor Reigns. And Taylor Reigns getting up slowly. Matt Boyd on the assault with elbows to the back. And dropping Taylor Reigns, and Matt Boyd dragging him to the center of the ring. Working on the knee. And stops to the chest of Taylor Reigns. And a reversal, smacking the hand of Matt Boyd. Knee to the spine, and Matt Boyd going for a pinfall. 2 count. Kicks to the back of Taylor Reigns. And Matt Boyd lifting him up. And Matt Boyd going back to the knee. Lifting him up. And an Irish whip into the turnbuckle. Lifting Ryan Baines up on the top turnbuckle. Ref trying to tell him to get down. Not listening as he continues up to the top for a suplex. And going for the pinfall. A 2 count. Head rake. Matt Boyd telling him to get up, and Taylor Reigns getting up slowly. Arm drag to Matt Boyd as Taylor Reigns is in control now. As I say that, it switches up. Inverted DDT to Matt Boyd. And Matt Boyd getting up slowly. Knee to the back of the head to Matt Boyd. Lifting him up. And jabs as they tie up again. Matt Boyd hoisting Taylor Reigns on it. And a flapjack slam. A bookend into an anaconda lock. Matt gets out. And a drop kick to Matt Boyd. And tossing the head onto the mat of Matt's head. And kicking the back of the knee. Elbow to the back of the knee of Matt Boyd. Lifting him up. Carpet stomp. And going for the pinfall. Matt Boyd kicks out at 2. Kicks to the midsection. And a double leg takedown to Matt Boyd. Taylor Reigns now in control of this match. Of our new prestigious champion, Matt Boyd. And a face plant and a pinfall attempt And Matt Boyd kicks out at 2. And little vicious throwing the back of the head to the mat and kicking the midsection of Matt Boyd now. Matt, the billionaire, prestigious champion. And now the headlock. Throwing the knee to the back of the head of Matt Boyd and going for the pinfall. Only a 2 count. And the head scissors, Matt Boyd quickly getting out of the head scissors lock. And a belly to belly to Matt Boyd. A little homage to Connor the Crusher with a forearm to the head. Wanting to beat our new prestigious champion to put him in line to be for a chance at the shot. Oh, and a X Factor to Taylor Reigns. And going for the pinfall. Oh, only a 2 count. Keeps in. Hoping he can be in line for a prestigious championship. Reverse DDT. And Taylor Reigns going into the turnbuckle. Matt Boyd rolls over quickly, going back to the assault. To Matt Boyd. Rolls him back over, goes for the pinfall. Only a 2 count. Both men exhausted. And a drop kick from Matt Boyd. Looks like his Death Star powerbomb, which pinned Kevin Journey to become a prestigious champion. Kicks out. Irish whip into the turnbuckle. Taylor Reigns on the top turnbuckle. American Podcast Federation loves the top rope. And Matt Boyd hits a suplex from the top rope and a forearm to Ryan Baines. Taylor Reigns. And a clothesline in the turnbuckle. And Matt Boyd telling Taylor Reigns to get up. Rolls him over. Knee to the back of the spine. Matt Boyd in control of the match. Puts him in the second rope. Runs across. Zigzag. Splash in the second rope onto Taylor Reigns. And a single leg takedown to Matt Boyd. And Taylor Reigns now lifting up Matt Boyd. And a hip toss. Head rake. And a pinfall attempt. And a kick out at 2. And a drop kick to Taylor Reigns. From our new prestigious champion. Oh, leg snap. Lifting up Taylor Reigns. Belly to attempt, but Taylor Reigns blocking it with forearms to the head of Matt Boyd. And a Reno street stomp to Matt Boyd. And Taylor Reigns pinning our new prestigious champion. Does that mean Taylor Reigns is in line for a prestigious championship shot? What about Kevin Journey's rematch for the prestigious championship? Will APF let us know? Let me know. Will Lee Bodfield be back for another episode? What I do know is that we still have more action with Michael Cage and Dilligus Ludwig next. As Michael Cage making his way down to the ring right now. Our native Alaskan. A 2-time champion. Losing to Kevin Journey in our prestigious tournament for our prestigious championship. And now making his way down is Dilligus Ludwig, who had a real shot at the prestigious championship against Kevin Journey back a couple episodes ago. And he's a 5-time Russian champion from Russia. as both men are set to go. And tie up in the center of the ring, and Dilgus Ludwig in control. Foot to the back of the knee to push him down for more leverage. Michael Cage back up with the headlock, torquing on the head. And now a chicken wing slam to Dilgus Ludwig. And back to a tie-up, and now Dilgus Ludwig with an armbar of his own. And ringing the bell and going for a suplex to Michael Cage. And a clothesline to Dilgus Ludwig. And stomps to the chest. And Dilgus Ludwig wisely getting out of the ring and back in the ring. Lifting him up with a thumb to the eye, it looked like. But now, powerbomb to Michael Cage. Rolling him over. Boot to the chest. And then a back of the spine to Michael Cage. And another kick to the spine. And dragging Michael Cage to the center of the ring. And just pounding the head to the mat. And an elbow to the throat. Lifting up. Oh, and a jawbreaker to Dilgus Ludwig. And a hip toss. And now a figure leg scissors stop to the midsection of Dilgus Ludwig. Lifting him up in an attempt to hit the Dilgus Ludwig, and Dilgus Ludwig just tosses Michael Cage across the ring, dragging him to the center of the ring now. Going for the pinfall attempt. Michael Cage kicking out. Snake eyes to Michael Cage. Forearm to the back of Michael Cage. Stomping the knee. And tossing him back on the back of his head. And continuously stomping. Not letting Michael Cage have any offense. Irish whip into the turnbuckle. And a boot to the face to Dilgus Ludwig. An Olympic slam to Dilgus Ludwig. And he slowly lets him up and tosses Michael Cage into the turnbuckle. Another snake eyes. And dragging Michael Cage to the center of the ring. Pinfall attempt. Michael Cage kicks out at 2. And a rear naked chokehold. Michael Cage slowly getting up and a gut punch. And a single leg takedown to Dilgus Ludwig now. Dragging him down. Fist to the forehead to Dilgus Ludwig. Lifting him up. Irish whip into the turnbuckle. Picks him up into the top. Dilgus Ludwig jumps off the top rope. Dilgus Ludwig was attempting to jump off the top rope. Michael Cage catches him into a DDT. And then Dilgus Ludwig now gut punches Michael Cage. Chicken wing. Double chicken wing slam to Michael Cage in a pinfall attempt. And a kick out. Attempted to lift him up, but a reversal into a reverse DDT. And punches to the forehead of Michael Cage. And knee to the back of the spine. Oh, and Michael Cage fighting out now. Not good enough, though. It's Dilgus Ludwig with another powerbomb slam to Michael Cage. And a stomp to the chest of Michael Cage. Elbow drop to the chest of Michael Cage. Flipping around. Face plant. Go for the pinfall attempt. A 2 count. Michael Cage. Bench press onto Dilgus Ludwig and now a pinfall attempt. Only a 2 count. And then face plant to Dilgus Ludwig. 2 3/4. Slowly, Michael Cage gets up and kicks the hamstring of Dilgus Ludwig. Irish whip into the turnbuckle. And a clothesline following that up. And stops to Dilgus Ludwig. Lifting him up. And a double leg. Dilgus Ludwig looking for his Russian stunner. Drags him to the center of the ring. Goes for the pinfall attempt. Kicks out at 2. What more does Dilgus Ludwig have to do? Oh, and the elbow to the back, or to Dilgus Ludwig. And another back to the back. And a bulldog to Dilgus Ludwig. Going for the pinfall, it's Michael Cage. And a kick out at 2. Both men getting up slowly. And Dilgus Ludwig slamming Michael Cage's head in the mat and now just stomping on the back. Irish whips Michael Cage in the turnbuckle. And now Michael Cage reversing him into the turnbuckle and putting him on the top turnbuckle. He went for this earlier, but Dilgus Ludwig reversed it. Michael Cage on the top and a superplex. And going for the pinfall. And kicking out at 2. Both men getting up slowly. Arm drag into a rear naked chokehold. And twerking on the rear naked chokehold onto Dilgus Ludwig. And Dilgus Ludwig finally powering out of the rear naked chokehold. Elbows to the gut of Michael Cage. And a hip toss. And now Michael Cage with the gut shot to Dilgus Ludwig. Irish whips him into the turnbuckle. Knee to his face and goes for the pinfall attempt. At 2. Kicks out at 2. Arm drag to Dilgus Ludwig. Leg drop. A DDT to Dilgus Ludwig. Goes for the pinfall. Only a 2 count. Michael Cage setting Dilgus Ludwig up for something. And it looks like the deep thought. Goes for the pinfall. And beats Dilgus Ludwig with the deep thought. What a performance by Michael Cage and Dilgus Ludwig on this episode of American Podcast Federation. From Studio 1615, I am Ted the Ranger Irvin, and next up, our main event, Bryan Stevens, Bryan Courageous, the matchup of the Bryans. And this is a Falls Count Anywhere match, and making his way down the ring, Bryan Stevens, showing off his cockiness, coming out here to prove he should be our prestigious champion. What a young talent we have here. Bryan Courageous now making his way down the ring. Not sure why this is a Fall Counts Anywhere match, but this is American Podcast Federation, where we bring you action. No Falls Count Anywhere is action. Squaring off between these two now, finally get off. And a double leg takedown by Bryan Courageous. And Stevens getting up quickly. And a hip toss to Courageous. Into a head scissors to Stevens. And a headlock to Courageous. Both men exchanging submission holds. And now a headlock and a hip toss to Stevens. Look, knee to the head from Courageous. Dragging him to the center. Stopping the hand, lifting Stevens up, Irish whips in the rope, and a flapjack slam. Kick to the face, arm drag. Stevens getting out of the ring. I would say why, but this is no Falls Count Anywhere. He's looking for he found a table. And Courageous taking it from him. And Stevens taking it from him. And Courageous now wants it back from him. Steven needs it. Courageous got it now. Don't worry. Oh, and now he finally uses the table. And hitting Stevens in the back, in the chest. Throwing it down now. Whirlwind DDT to Stevens on the floor of the arena of Studio 6050, and a jawbreaker and a neck breaker and a camel clutch to Courageous. To falls. I don't know if the submissions count, but Courageous blocking a kick to the midsections and now into a half island crab. Oh, and throwing him into the barricade. Oh, an uppercut. Throwing him back into the barricade. And a suplex to Courageous. And now Stevens taking the steps and using them against Courageous and hitting him in the just vicious shots to Courageous over and over again. And lifting Courageous up, tossing him into the barricade some more. Stevens is being vicious with the steps again, and Courageous finally getting the steps for his own good. For a short while, that is. As Stevens takes it back and just smacks him in the face. Oh, into the knee. Continuous shots, and now he throws it back down and goes and just stomping the spine. Goes for the kick, and Courageous blocks it into a back kick into Stevens. And then Stevens reverses it with the knee to the head to Courageous. And a face plant to Courageous. And a knee to the back of the spine. A boot to the face of Stevens. Reverse roundhouse kick to Stevens. And now Courageous with the table into the knee of Stevens. And Stevens now took the table back. Courageous took the table back and using it in the midsection, hitting him in the back. How polite. The ref is putting up the table instead of counting. And now he goes for the pinfall. Only a 2 count. Who knows what the count would have been if the ref would have not put the table up. Instead, puts the table up. And we have a 2 count, and Stevens is now in control of this matchup. Roller Derby, DDT, through the table that was set up by the ref. With both men getting up slowly. And now Stevens with the pinfall attempt. And a kick out by Courageous. Alabama slam to Stevens on the remains of the table. And now a pinfall attempt. Only a 2 count. And a pinfall attempt to Stevens. And a kick out. Both men up slowly. Courageous hoisting Stevens up on his shoulders and slamming him down on the mat. And now a knee to the head of Stevens. And stomping on Stevens now. And going for the pinfall attempt. Only 2. A bookend to Courageous. Only a 2 count. My voice got high there. And now Stevens throwing Courageous back into the ring. And Courageous with the knee to the head of Stevens, and now a pinfall attempt. And a 2 count. Both men getting up slowly on this falls count anywhere match. And a fireman's carry to Stevens. Irish whips him into the turnbuckle. Going for the suplex from the top rope. Going for the pinfall attempt. Only a 2 count. Courageous Irish whip Stevens and a clothesline to Stevens. Into the turnbuckle. And he lifts him up, belly to belly attempt, but powering out Stevens with forearms to Courageous. Irish whipping him back into the turnbuckle is Stevens, and putting Stevens in the turnbuckle. Irish whipping him into the other, and going for the clothesline, and Stevens counters it into a DDT. And Stevens going for the pinfall attempt. And a 2 count. And a forearm to Stevens. Rear naked chokehold to Stevens. And Stevens powering out. Elbows to the ribs of Stevens. Gut shot to Stevens. Irish whips him in the turnbuckle. Forearm to the back of the spine. Puts him on the top turnbuckle. Lifting him up. Belly to belly for the top turnbuckle. Taking a toll out of both of them. Goes for the pinfall. Only a 2 count. Both men getting up slowly. And Stevens with the forearm to Courageous. The bookend. And that is it. Stevens beats Brian Courageous on this episode of American Podcast Federation. I am Ted the Ranger Irvin, signing off from Studio 1615.